Hey everybody, Marvin Weisman here from the Weedkend show.
This is our.
How you guys doing today? I got a
Hello,
very
what up?
close friend here, the one and only Israel Peez.
Hello, how are you?
We're very happy to have you here, man. Not
Me
just
too.
because you're of what you're going to tell us of what you do, but because you're a good friend, and I love you, man. And I'm excited that I finally get to interview such a close friend, and I'm excited that actually this is kind of a coming out of the closet for Israel in social media. So I'm honored.
Yeah.
I am honored that now everyone who thought he might have smoked, now they'll know.
But I don't smoke.
No.
Is this a kitchen program or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah. We're gonna
okay,
cook.
okay,
We're
okay.
gonna
Cooking
cook some
program.
brownies.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Well, I have to say that this is my first interview in English, so I'll try to do my best.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sure. I'm sure you're gonna do just fine.
Are we popping your cherry?
Yeah.
Your podcast cherry?
The English podcast
Yeah.
cherry? Wow. So, where are you from? You're from here, Israel.
I'm
Tell us a
from-
little bit about you and your background.
I'm from Mexico City. I have been doing contents for 25 years, more or less. First in radio, in classic radio, like a radio DJ and audio producer. And now I'm making contents on YouTube on a live every 15 days, 2 weeks. And it's very, very fun to be in the new generation of making content.
Yeah, no, and also the pandemic, made us, we're locked up at home. We have equipment, we have talent. We got to do something with this,
Yes.
and it's great. I actually love what you're doing. And where can people see your show?
Yes.
In YouTube.
In YouTube, you have to look for Peez Live, PEEZ
Okay.
.live. So you can find it in Spanish, but you are going to be very I don't know how to say, very very
Entertained.
entertained
Yeah.
to see that interviews in that show.
And you interview what kind of people?
I don't have a kind of people. I interview musicians or artists or a lot of creative people. The last show we have a deaf. You said deaf people with sign language.
Wow.
So you can go from there to maybe the new single of an artist.
And you know sign language?
No, but I have a translate
Wow.
in that show. Yes,
That's awesome.
Yes. It
It's
was
very
fun.
interesting how
Yes.
it's beautiful how they communicate. I actually
Yes.
I always found it very cool how they can communicate everything with their hands, It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes, and for sure there are going to be a lot of deaf grifos, so you can invite them in the show.
Awesome. Yeah, since you already did that show, you're going to send them an email and say, "Do we have any griffos in the house?"
Yes.
And yeah, I have another show for you guys.
Yes.
So
And
that's
it's like-
another word that they call the cannabis users grifos. How did that
Grifos.
come around? Like
Grifo.
Why? Like
I don't know. It's the
Drinking water a lot?
yeah, it's a grifo of water. I don't know why, but when you smoke a lot of weed, you say I'm a grifo in Spanish. Soy un
Yeah.
grifo or
Yeah.
soy grifo. I don't know. No, when you use it.
But you don't know
Normally.
where it comes from?
No, I don't know.
because that's from Mexico City. Have you ever heard that?
No, never, dude. I learned that word here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've always heard pacheco.
Yes, of course.
Fumao.
Okay.
En Venezuela está fumao. Sabroso. Yeah, it's got a lot of the swing, but yeah, no, the grifo, the first time I heard that, I'm like, yeah, but ¿de dónde viene? Because ya me echaron el cuento de Pacheco. I know where Pacheco comes from.
What? What is it?
It's supposedly a guy that was in the mountain and it was very cold and he came down and they gave him, and he was El Señor Pacheco. So they gave him some weed to heat up.
Okay.
And that's when, so they said, oh, man, sí, vamos a ponernos Pacheco.
Yeah.
That's what they told me,
Yeah.
man.
I never heard that.
I heard something like that from Peru. I think Pacheco is a word in Peru. Or you, Venezuela, right? Pacheco is a word in Venezuela?
No, in Venezuela,
It's
no.
something in Peru. They were like, that's an actual word that we give people that are cold. If you're cold.
Oh, sure. It's a last name.
Yeah,
Right.
well, in
Oh, yeah.
Venezuela, Pacheco is cold.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
Yeah. That.
I actually had a T-shirt from, ¿cómo se llamaba esa marca mexicana que hacía las playeras de los de Molotov?
Um,
I forgot the brand, and it said Pacheco. And everyone in Venezuela was like, "You're cold." I'm like, "Yeah,
Sure.
sure." Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llamaba esa marca, vale? Buenísima.
Furor. Is it a Mexican brand?
It's a Mexican brand, and
It's something like I Weigh or something like that,
no,
right?
but way before that, man. It's
Um,
okay. Everyone can see our white hair and our beard. We don't have to hide our age, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I actually sold their T-shirts in my DJ store in Caracas, and they were a hit, dude. Everyone, Naco,
Naco.
Naco.
Right.
Those were awesome, dude.
Yeah, sure.
I had a couple of those, and in Venezuela, they would always laugh, and they're like, "What? You're cold?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cold, dude." And it was green with the letter in white. It said Pacheco,
Yeah.
and I knew what it meant because I had already been in Mexico, and I bought them here, and that was the first time I came to Mexico, actually, and I fell in love. That's when I went back home, and I started thinking about Mexico, and I said, "You know what, dude? I think that's where I want to go."
Yeah, sure.
Because I had some opportunities in other places, but I had never been here, and it blew my mind. I was like, "What's up?"
How
with
many
this?
years? That's
Now? 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah. I am chilango, I am mexicano, y me la pelan.
Where are you from, dude? Are you from
yeah.
I'm from
Mexico
Mexico City.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
from here.
Yeah,
Born and raised in Mexico City.
yeah.
Nice.
Born and raised here.
All right.
I lived in the beach 1 year only. That's the place that I met the cannabis in the beach.
That's a good place to meet.
Yes,
cannabis.
sure. And and in Oaxaca, so there's a very
This is from Oaxaca, the hash
okay.
that I'm about to smoke.
Okay. And it's from Oaxaca. They have a lot of quality there.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, Oaxaca. Actually, the glass blower, the artist who made this beautiful bong,
Okay.
he's from Oaxaca, and he learned. Him and his family learned the art of glass blowing in the United States, and then they brought it here. And in Oaxaca, they started doing
Yeah.
stuff. But then someone from the cannabis community
Yes.
contacted him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know how to make bongs." And God damn it, look at that! You know, it's crazy, dude.
That's because in Mexico, if you are good in something and you are Pacheco too,
Yeah.
you have to make things Pachecas with the thing that you are good.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
And there's so much talent here, you know. There's so much history with all the art, you know. That for me, it's gonna be natural that more and more Mexican artisans are gonna, you know, evolve. And also, you know, I've been doing this, but now I also do
Yes.
this for the cannabis community, like what we saw today. You know, like she makes, you know, pipes, and she makes a beautiful jar where you can put your flower in, but she also makes beautiful macetas. How do you say macetas in English? Pots for plants.
Yes.
It's gorgeous, dude. And it's, you know, and it's the same girl, but she has her plant thing, and then she's got her
Yes.
cannabis thing. And I think, yeah,
And everybody hope that division it's going to be together anytime.
yeah,
So I hope that the artists, the writers, the musicians make cannabis music or cannabis art without being separately for the regular art.
the regular.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, we were
I agree.
talking to Cannabis yesterday. This is good. You can see the interview 2 weeks from now. But we were talking to her, and you know, I was telling her that it's like right now the cannabis community is very separated. It's its own thing. We're pushing for legalization, and you know, the other side is not saying anything, right? But in my experience of what I saw in the U.S. and in Colombia, and now that I'm here, is that it's best when the other industries accept cannabis once it becomes legalized, and then they work together. Because what's going to happen is that once it becomes legalized, the tomato industry or the plantain industry is going to want to come into cannabis, and they're big players. And then the cannabis industry is going to be like, oh, no, like you guys, you know, we're the cannabis people, you know, we fought for this. You guys are, you know,
Oh,
are coming from the outside.
It's like this. These are Levi's.
yes.
They're brand new, 50% hemp.
Okay.
Esto está hecho en
Yes.
50% cáñamo.
Yeah, he's made out of cannabis now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
you are-
100 I'm
you are
100%.
almost 80%.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm about 80% cannabis. But yes, what you're saying, you know, all these big players that used to be the ones that started talking bad about cannabis because it was not going to permit their new industry, the
Yes.
cotton industry, the tobacco industry, the alcohol industry, the pharmaceuticals, we don't even want to talk about. But, you know, all these players once they're in the cannabis industry, they're going to legalize cannabis everywhere, whether people vote for it or not.
Yeah.
It's going to be like it used to be. You were obligated to grow cannabis because you used it for so many industrial purposes.
Yeah, sure.
So and we need to start saving the planet. You know, the planet is destroyed, man.
Yeah, we need to start saving ourselves.
Yeah.
So if you need a medicine, or if you need something to escape, or something to taste, or maybe the cannabis is the right industry to go.
Yeah.
So even the contents are more, I don't know how to say, democratably for the cannabis content. So you can find more easily cannabis content and professional cannabis content.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that's good for our information, for our education, for the education for the plant. It's only a plant.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I think Mexico is, you know, a lot of people are complaining, but also, you know, Mexico's the only country that I know that has a show on national TV. You know, here we have Tiempo de Cannabis
Yeah, sure.
with Sarah Snap, you know, and that's awesome, dude, because
And
that's
you know what? Not only that, I do want to give credit to Cositas de Pacheco, because he actually was the first one.
oh
like, you
no,
know,
definitely,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
But of course, they asked him to do like a personaje.
Yeah.
You know, Sarah Snap is una
Oh, okay.
conductora. That's what I meant. You know,
Okay.
but no, Cositas, of course, dude. He's the first guy on TV
Yeah.
that they were like, dude, you're funny, you're talented, write something and do something about cannabis. And yeah, and he's amazing. He's very smart. He's very funny. But yeah, I just think that this with Sarah Snap, you know, education wise,
Yeah.
I think it's very important, and I think it's it's very admirable. You know, the channel who's doing this, Azteca. It's like, wow, man, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
No,
You know?
and maybe, and now we have the users, we have the responsibility to press, to have better contents, better reviews, national reviews
Yes.
with people around you, and I think that contents and the contents with quality are going to stay more time.
I agree.
So let's look for better contents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With more information, more educational, more about legal situation of the cannabis. I think that's the way to make the cannabis part of our normal life.
Yeah, like the Weedkend Show podcast.
Yes, of course.
And that's what I want to go to. Like, so let me just go back to a little bit. What I was saying is like, there's going to be a friction. There's going to be a friction between the people that right now are pro cannabis, they're pushing for it, they're out, you know, coming out of the closet, and then once it becomes legal, then the old school, you know, like I was saying, like the people that make clothes, like Mexican companies that want to get into the cannabis industry, and then the cannabis people are going to be like, no, like that's our industry.
Yeah.
And my only thing is that in order for this to like grow fast and to be accepted and, you know, grow up in Mexico, is that both of them have to work together. But because I've seen it in the US and I've seen it in Colombia where they want to be separated and like, no, this is our thing. You know, you cannot come to our thing because you know,
That's not how it should be.
no, it has to come together. So, you know, Mexico can grow and all those international companies don't come in and take over everything. Because if they start going like this, like, oh no, this is ours, that's not you, you stick to your thing, and then the other ones are gonna come in and take over the industry.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's a I don't know how to say, like a business problem, or like
A social problem.
a social problem, or maybe a stigma problem?
Which part? Like what?
This fusion between because
it's
in
in-
Mexico
yeah.
we are in the time to make that fusion.
It's all about the
softly.
money, man.
Yeah, it's
It's all about the money,
So
man. Like it is everywhere.
Here's
you
an
know?
example, dude. Colorado legalized, you know, all the users got the licenses. They all were like, I'm gonna have a store, I'm gonna have a cultivation. But then there was two people. The ones that are companies that are big into cultivation and they had experience on doing
Yes.
big things, you know. Then they came in and they took over, and then New York came in, the investors.
Yeah.
They don't care about anything. They don't care about the cultivation. They just want to make money. Dude.
They just
Yeah,
want to
So
make
then
money,
they came
man.
in, and then so the ones that started everything, you know, like now I want to say because they didn't have that much experience. So yeah, they got the licenses, but they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know how to grow an actual business, so they got pushed out, dude. So what you see right now is very professional, very big enterprises in Colorado that took over.
Yeah.
But that was just natural. But it will happen in Mexico too. But I just think that instead of fighting it, the cannabis industry has to work with them so they're part of it.
Yeah.
Because you
Yes,
can
of
fight
course.
it and they're gonna beat you and they're gonna win and then you're gonna be out, or you can just join them and do it together. and I think that's what should happen in Mexico.
I hope so.
I
man.
hope so too.
Yeah, but I see a lot of egos, and I see a lot of like I can already see the friction starting.
Well,
to
yeah,
happen,
when there's money in the middle and you're talking about millions and millions of dollars or pesos,
Yeah.
of course there's going to be friction.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
yeah,
And then the industry, it's in Mexico, it's old. So you have to you put in Mexico laws and some political things, and the industry are going to be in that way, because we have the narco a long time ago.
Yeah.
So the narco are going to be spelling cash and something to make a industry
Yeah.
like the narco. But and we have the other I don't know, creatives and people who are going to show their kind of cannabis, or algunas marcas, some brands of cannabis. I don't know, but I think the narco it's going to be working with laws and with all the industry, but it's going to be in between the.
Well, you know,
cannabis
it's something
industry.
that Mexico needs because everyone who has a business here, you have to pay the taxes to the government, and then you also have to pay taxes to the narcos. And that's not fair, man. That's why
sure.
this country is the way it is. And the narcos should be people that have legal businesses. If it's marijuana, they have to be part of the equation. They have the lands. They know what they're doing. And if they're going to make 10 times more money because they're going to tax the shit out of it, then, I mean, they have to be part of the equation. And I'm not saying for everything, you know. I know that the narcos are also involved in other stuff that aren't nice, like cannabis. But maybe if they make enough money with cannabis, then they stop doing all the other shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they're like, I don't want to sell guns, and I don't want guns from the States, and I'm not going to do heroin, and I'm not going to do anything else until the heroin is legal, like cannabis. I'm just going to do, look at all the money I'm making. Because, you know, we have to clean up that aspect of Mexico because, you
Yes.
know, it's not good for anyone.
and you know what I always want to remind people that are watching this is that when we say narcos, those narcos are the transportation and the security of of the cannabis. But the cultivators and the ones that grow it they're not narcos. They're just
No.
like farmers, dude. They're
Yeah,
like some
sure,
farmer, like
sure.
some poor farmer in the middle of
That's
something.
Yeah.
a good
We
point.
have to protect the farmers from there. You know, it has to be protected from the farmers because they've always been the one that suffer the most. And, you know, if they're going to give us the hemp or the cannabis that we're going to consume or export, you know, they should have a great quality of life because they're the ones that are putting in all the hard work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, and they have the really know-how of
they
how
know
to
the
make,
knowledge, of course.
how to make the plant.
How to work the land, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And here
the-
in Mexico, we've proved it, no? I mean,
yes,
Herbolaria Milenaria. We have, you know, all the cacti, and then you have the mezcal and tequila, all the agave. We know how to make beautiful stuff here in the land
Yeah,
with the
sure.
land in Mexico. Same thing with cannabis. I mean, I'm always surprised at all the flower that grows in Mexico. It's unbelievable.
yeah,
It's-
and maybe if the distribution are going to be legal, you can cut that problem, the narco problem, the distribution.
I mean, that's
the,
the license that they should
Yes.
get. I mean, they already do the distribution and the transportation, and they should get the distribution license because
Yeah,
they already
definitely,
know
dude.
that.
yes, they are out.
Let's
from
just do
the-
it legally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
they already know how to do it. They do it better than anybody.
Yeah.
Let's work with them, but just make it kosher. What we're gonna call it, whatever. SADCV, and now you're gonna make 10 times more, dude. I'm gonna pay you legally to transport everything around
Yeah.
Mexico.
And you're gonna pay taxes and social security, so your employees have like benefits and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that thing, I mean, it's going to be help to the stigma, to crush the stigma.
Yeah.
All the that we have to smoke marijuana in every place.
Yeah.
So I think this legalization are going to help a lot of things, not only the sale of the distribution, it's going to help to
Society.
see society and to see a more saludable, healthy society.
Yeah.
A more balanced society.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to go back to our roots. I'm not gonna get tired of saying it because, you know, cannabis has billions and billions of things that you can do with it. You know, you can make anything with hemp. And we have to go back to that because we're destroying the planet every day. Every day they want to make more trainways or more highways, so they cut all the trees. And, you know, that's not good, man. We're really destroying the planet. and I think hemp is a very natural and noble way of not only helping communities to have jobs and live better lives, but to help a planet, you know. And I think that is very important with the whole legalization. I actually think that they have to be very careful with any licenses that they give to people that are going to grow indoors, and you know they have to like make rules like, okay, you have to use solar power, and you
Yeah.
can't, you know, you have to make you know, leave the smallest impact that you can on this planet because we need to protect it, man.
Yes, there's a in the cannabis industry there's a sustainability theme
Yeah.
and issues about that. So I think every person that is interested in have their own plant are going to study
Yeah,
a
definitely.
little maybe, but they are going to study to
Yeah.
have a better plan or to have a, and that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
think. No?
Everyone should be able to grow. That should definitely be part of the law, you know, like they're saying 6 plants per person at a house. If you're a couple, 8. It's more than enough to learn and to be able to enjoy the plant. And it's beautiful. You've grown, I've grown, you've grown.
I think the
It's so
problem.
important to be in contact with nature. And now, what you were saying, the sustainable part, you know, all my friends are growing vegetables in their apartments, dude, not
Yes.
even in their homes.
Yeah.
And I think we have to go towards that, you know, and make a less of an impact, you know, on nature, because we're capable,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful to grow, and it's healthy to be with the plants, and it's a great experience. So
Yeah.
you know, cannabis should be a part of that as well.
Yeah, and emotionally, when you grow a plant,
Yeah.
you make a different
Connection,
connect
of
Yeah.
with the
course.
plant.
You connect amazingly
and,
with the
and
plant.
it's unexplicable,
Unexplainable.
unexplainable
Yeah.
about that. How you can make that thing with your plant that you are going to smoke later. It's it's
Very personal.
weird.
You know how I
because-
compare it, dude? Like, say for example, if you have a dog, so say for example, the way that you come down to, like, you know, as a human. Well, this is my opinion, and you know, you grow up and you know, you respect a little more the planet and things like that, and your life and everything is when you have kids, right? When you have a kid, then that's when you like really change, you know. And you know, if you want to make that shorter, you have a dog, right? If you have a dog, you don't have to have a kid, but you understand like taking care of something
Yeah,
and
sure.
see it go from a baby to dying, you know. And if you want to go even faster, then you grow a plant, because then you see it go from a seed to a plant, and then you cut it down, and then that cycle takes 6 months. So I think it opens your eyes to like that's how I compare, you know, like kind of like having a kid is like, but very very short time
Yeah.
and very easy. You know, you just plant a plant, put a seed, it grows, you cut it, you smoke it, and you
You talk to it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
play music.
you sing to it.
You smoke on it. It's like, here, this is what you're gonna be.
yeah, you're gonna be part of me at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, so I wanted to take it back to you know what I was saying, like, you know, we have to get together with the industry. I think that, you know, also that doesn't just mean the cultivators and the fabricators and the people that make the extracts and things like
Yeah.
that, but also other people that are in the other industries, right? So like other industries like music, and that's where, you know, Marvin really is like big into music, and in the music industry, we want to bring more people of that type of industry to talk about cannabis, you know, because we know that there's a lot of users out there that
Yes.
don't come out and everything like that. And I think you actually know a lot of those people out there, right? You're not gonna name names, but yeah,
No,
you,
but it's
you
it's what,
understand.
we've been
Yeah.
saying about the stigma. It's
Yeah.
like there's nothing wrong with
Let-
smoking weed, dude.
Let's part.
People drink alcohol. People smoke cigarettes. People do a lot of worse things than cannabis. And you know, and you should not be ashamed if you're a cannabis user, man.
Let's part from 2 points. First one, I don't know why cannabis is illegal. I can imagine. Well, I know, but I can imagine. But take me to the point number 2. Let's start that the cannabis are a plant that is a medicinal plant,
Yes.
not only physically. It's a mental medicinal. So
Yeah.
so in this part, when you make a creative career or you are in the professional creative ambience, the cannabis helps to the creative to be more creative.
Of
I
course.
think the cannabis make you see the life in other point, and the your everything you make every day you can see it from another point if you smoke cannabis. That helps you to create and to have some answers about your own questions. So in this industry, that in the music, not in all in the arts, like painters or musics or movie makers, or they use it a lot because they help to one to relax, and two to make more creative. There's a lot of
That's
type of
right.
plants that make you more creative. That is, and
I have an autoimmune disease that's related to arthritis, and my doctors, when I told them that I smoked weed, they said, "Fantastic.
yes,
It's really good for what you have."
So what do you think about like all these artists? Like, do you really think there's a stigma? Like, say for example, a TV producer like TV Azteca, I don't know, like they're going away, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like a not a good example. But will they really go like, oh, this musician who has like 100 million followers, like, oh, he smokes weed, so we can't have him, like, or the record label that goes like, oh no, he smokes.
I think
weed.
in a
Do you
country
think-
I
where it's
think
not
no.
legal, yeah.
you think so?
I,
here in
th-
Mexico?
Maybe,
I don't think they're ready for that.
that-
Because I've tried to talk to a bunch of influencer friends that I have, and they said, no, my brands. And I'm like, dude, they made marijuana shoes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
No,
What-
and
I
they
mean,
must smoke with you right here without cameras and without microphones, or maybe in their house.
Oh,
So it's okay, and it's
yeah, no, it's
respectable,
valid.
yeah.
Yeah.
but I think that's the result of an stigma,
Yeah.
of an not all the information that you have to know about the cannabis and the person who used cannabis.
Yeah, it's like, Pame Vogel.
Yes.
We interviewed her, and it was one of the first things, and she said, if they don't want to be with me because I consume and now I'm going to promote cannabis, then they can leave.
Yes.
And I was like, that's the attitude, man.
Yeah.
Because she is secure of herself and of what she's doing, and she knows there's nothing wrong.
But here's my thing. That's what I was gonna say. I think that's how it is. Like, if you're big enough and you are, if you're a hard worker and you got there by yourself, if you go, oh, I smoke cannabis, like I really think that those companies wouldn't care that much. Like, if you, even when it's right
I
now
hope you're
legal.
right, dude.
Yeah, because they'll
That's
be like,
how it
well,
should be.
Yeah. I feel like they know there's a lot of bands that smoke weed, and they just like, they're like, okay, whatever. If you're gonna be making money for me, like, I don't care. Like, just don't put it out there. But I think, like, like you were saying, like, I don't know. I think people are more scared. I'm thinking about like how people are very scared of like going to jail for having less than 5 grams. But I always talk to them is like, do you ever talk to the judge, or do you go in front of the fiscal? And they're like, oh, I never talked to them. And I was like, why? He's like, oh, because I paid to get out. And I was like, yeah, but if you go up to that guy,
Yeah.
you're gonna get out. But it's like that thing that they're just scared about it, so they
Yeah,
just
of
don't do it.
course. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to pay and get out.
And I think maybe the arts is like that. Like, I don't think the employers will care that much, but they just don't want to even deal with it. They're just like, oh, no, never mind.
But
But the employers still making proofs of use of marijuana or
Okay.
LSD,
So,
or
I don't know that,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about the other drugs
Yeah.
because it's another trip. But
Okay.
but a lot of employers still making proofs of you smoke marijuana, you cannot work here.
So that's a big thing in Mexico. Is there a lot of testing here in Mexico?
Yes,
like, for jobs?
I think I don't know if a lot,
Yeah.
but some,
But
yes,
enough, yeah.
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 But the employers have this
That's why I decided to go join the NBA, because now they don't test you for marijuana. I want to play with LeBron, but nobody calls me.
Oh, I thought it was.
Am I too short?
I thought you were gonna be a mascot.
maybe.
You think so?
But that's a good point, because a lot of sports
Athletes?
make the marijuana more general, like Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
See that Michael Phelps smoking a big bong, say, that's a medal winner.
Yeah.
So it has to be not
That's
as
a
good as bad as they say.
multi-medal winner.
Multi, yes.
I mean, what a beast in the water, man.
And that's what it takes. It takes like, even it doesn't have to be athletes. Maybe a lawyer or a doctor.
Yes.
Like
I
if they were
agree.
to be like, oh, I smoke weed, and then it will just change so many.
Of
freaking
course,
people's
of course.
mind.
That's why we're always telling everyone, salgan del closet, come out of the cannabis closet, And we compare it to the whole gay thing when it was like, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about the word gay. And now it's normal, and you can get married, and it's
in Mexico City.
but
In the
it's
big cities,
but
yeah.
but it's how it should be. I mean, I lived in LA in the 90s, and I made so many gay friends. For me, it was normal.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the industry, in the music industry, and in
Right.
the filming industry, and so it was like, of course, I'm gonna hang around with a lot of homosexuals.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a blessing because I got home and I made, like my roommate, I made all these cool gay friends in Venezuela, and everyone's like, "Why do you hang out with gay people?" I'm like, "I don't hang out with gay
Because
people.
they're cooler than you.
I mean, I hang out with cool people."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't care what their sexual preference is, and
Yeah.
and I think that's a very important thing to compare it with cannabis, because nowadays the stigma is gone. I feel that it's gone. I mean, you see series on like Amazon, like Transparent. Did you see that?
No.
You have to watch that series.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Seriously, it's fantastic. The actors are really brilliant. It's called Transparent because it's a father who wants to go through the transgender thing when he's like 70.
Oh,
or,
I have seen that, dude.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really it's like a roller coaster ride of emotions. And that whole sex thing, I see that they talk about it nowadays like nothing. And weed, you see it on TV and in series and more all the time, but it's still like, especially in Mexico, it's a stigma. It's taboo. It's like, don't say that word.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Hey,
guys.
but what you're saying, remember, like, we're in a bubble, dude. Like, all of us are in a bubble because Mexico is very. Remember what Cositas was saying? Cositas de Pacheco was telling us, like, there's a huge conservative side in Mexico
Yeah, of
that hasn't
course.
come out. They haven't put their head up, but they're all out there and they're all going, like, what the fuck? Here comes another thing, now. So hopefully it never rises like it did in the US with, the conservative side. But it's always there, dude. And it's always like, in the back of my head, it's like, dude, there is a ton of those out there.
No, of
Yeah, and
course.
it's going to take a lot of time
Yeah.
to make this normal.
Yeah.
To go to a Christmas dinner and one of them are taking tequila, one of them are taking wine, and one of these are smoke weed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? That's going to be a lot of time. But
Definitely.
I think it's not impossible.
Oh, same here. I agree. I think it's going to be normal when people get educated and time goes by and they know not only that this is healthier. I mean, you can vape like my friend Sar does, and it's even healthier
Yeah.
than what I'm doing.
Yes.
But people, they once they're educated and they know the reality, and they compare it to tobacco that's been legal forever,
Yeah.
and alcohol that's been legal forever,
And worse.
and all these medicines that we get from they take this pill and that pill for that and this and that
And
and
they have
doing
so
and
many
that,
side effects.
and all the side effects, and
Yes.
it's not it's a plant, it's natural.
That's I don't know how to say, because I can't believe that a plant is illegal.
I agree. It's
That's
crazy.
that's the start for everything.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
No,
that's where
not
everything.
like the opioid, like you have to process and
Yeah.
make and no, it's all a plant. And if you take it and dry and smoke it, that's it.
We've spoken about, even other drugs, even tobacco. I'm sure the tobacco leaf or whatever the plant gives you, without making a cigarette,
Yes.
I'm sure there's good stuff you can get out of that, and microdosing, and, this is para que no se te caiga el cabello. I don't know, but I'm saying if you study every plant, even
Yes.
like you said, opio, no. The poppy, let's study the plant. Let's study and see what the seed does.
And it does have medicinal purposes.
Of course it
That's how
does.
opium, like, it was for medicinal purposes.
Of course it is. I mean, all those things that they synthesize to make you go to sleep when they're going to operate on you. I mean, where does you think that comes from?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they give you when you have a lot of pain. They give you stuff, morphine.
Yeah.
It comes from the same,
Yeah.
of course, but it's controlled. It's a controlled substance, and it's very strong. But I'm sure that anything that comes from a plant, there has to be something positive without abusing of it, and you get positive things out of a plant. I mean, it's a plant.
Yes.
You
And,
know?
and it has no process, no chemical process.
Of course. Like milk, like sugar, like all that is the healthy one is
Also,
natural.
milk have a process,
Yeah.
You can drink it from the cow.
No,
So,
but I'm saying, but then they have the 50%,
yes, of course.
deslactosado, no. That's, don't touch that. That has
Yes.
process after process after process. That's chemicals. That's the worst. I always tell people, I know the leche entera, gets you fat, but it's the best. It's the más sana. It doesn't have processing. It has the least processing.
Yes.
Same with sugar. Take raw sugar, man. Cane sugar, I mean, the white one, that's white because they bleached it.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
have to
Yeah,
go.
it's supposed to be a little yellow.
Yeah, let's go back to, less processing, I understand that we needed the processing to be able to cover the planet, and so everyone got sugar, and so everyone got rice, and so, but let's, all the bleaching and all that. No, man, there's
Yeah.
got to be natural ways to do
We
it.
went too far. We went too far
Yeah.
in the processing and all that. But I think the world's starting to see like, whoa, let's take it
Yes.
back. A
I
little
hope
bit.
so.
Yeah,
I
like,
hope so. The world needs
we
it.
took too much to
Yeah.
process and to canned and everything. But let's change it up a little bit. We're going from the macro view. Let's put it on you. Let us know when was the first time you experienced or experimented with a plant.
But it was the worst experience in my life the first time.
Good.
Pálida
I'm actually glad that
total.
he says that because everyone we had, they're like, oh, it was fine. Like,
No, the worst, the worst.
Yeah.
I have a pálida. I don't know how to say in English, pálida.
When you overdo it,
Yeah.
well, not
I don't think
In
we have a
Spanish,
name, though.
that's the colloquial.
the same.
word.
My first time was a mega pálida, and it was at a bar, and the bartender he knew me, and he would cry because he knew where I went because my eyes were red, and he just poured me water and water and water, and I was just like, it was bad, dude.
Yes, it was. Mine was bad. It was with a girlfriend in that time. I don't know, about 20. I started old, 25 years
That's
Oh,
maybe.
good,
that's
yeah.
good. That's good.
And it was awful. So I didn't smoke along 2 or 3 years.
You had like a bad trip? Is that what? Oh, yeah, you got
Yes,
pálida. Yeah,
and, and a lot of that feeling about paranoid.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
paranoia.
a lot of paranoid.
Yeah.
That
Oh my God! Everybody knows I smoked. Or they can tell.
but I that no everybody knows, but I know that I have doing something bad.
Yeah.
And I feel bad, and she's still saying that because I'm bad,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. No,
Yeah.
so
I'm officially a marihuano.
yes, no. So I smoked 2 years later or 3 years later with more in the beach in Oaxaca. So it was more easy, not as easy as I think, but I have a very pleasure trip in the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reconciliate with the plant.
Weed is much nicer at the beach. I can tell you that. Weed at the beach is the bomb, boss, because you got the ocean, and plus you got that sun that makes you get extra baked, and it's nice, man. Nothing like getting high at the beach, man.
Dude, I was gonna say weed is good in any natural space, but actually, I remember a friend was telling me that he did it when he was camping, and dude, he was like losing it, dude, because it was dark and he was like hearing
Yes.
noises and shit. And he was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
What was that?
Yeah, of course.
So not always in nature,
yeah.
No, I agree. Nature is great for weed, for mushrooms. I mean, for all those beautiful things, I think it's nature. But the beach is very special. I mean, and you're at daytime and you have the energy of the sun, and then when you get warm, you jump in the water a bit and you cool off, and it's like a
Yes.
perfect mix. It's nice.
And that's a little bit hippie because if you practice with the weed to go to the movie or go to to a restaurant, or you find something special in that kind of things. It's yes, in the beaches. I think it's the best place.
Yeah, definitely.
But I learned that you have to practice with the weed.
Yeah.
You have to
Of course.
start talking with people. I sometime
I had a lot of bad experiences when I was young.
yes.
A lot, like passing out and and not having a good time at all.
Yeah.
And it took me time to when I understood the plan. And I think it happened in LA, because in Venezuela we had the same shitty weed that you probably had
Yeah.
when you were young here. And once I got to California, I think everything changed for me, because I started smoking quality grass, and it made a difference, and I started in understanding the plant and the effects and what it's supposed to do. And but yeah, I mean,
You know what I also think? Like, this is also, again, a personal opinion. There's no research on this, but it's like I also think that is that the older you are, the more secure you're with yourself.
of course.
So whenever
Yes.
you have those like paranoia, it's less and less, because now you know yourself, so you don't have that many like questions about who you
I
are
agree,
and
I
things like
agree.
that. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And I return to the practice because I know people that has I don't know, they are younger than me, has a lot of practice using the weed and go to the street and talk with you and work with a lot of things, smoke and wake and bake, and they go to work and they have no problem.
Yeah.
That's the way they live, and they have a lot of practice. I don't have
Yeah.
that practice, that level of practice, but I think that the quality of the cannabis, there's no quality in my young years because the quality in Mexico has, I don't know, 3 4 years
Yeah.
that you have the menu and you text some people that send you some specific things.
Yeah.
In when I was young, you bought the Bella, they
Yeah,
called Bella, that it's with
In
newspaper.
newspaper, man.
Yeah, yeah, like, and you don't know what you're going to smoke.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course not.
Actually,
dude.
the ink, the newspaper ink, is really bad for you.
No, not just
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I mean,
But-
it's
and you don't know what's
half
the plant
seeds,
has.
half seeds, half stems,
Everything.
and like 2% flour, and it smelled like gasoline, man. And it would suck,
Yes,
dude.
yes,
It was the same shit we got in Venezuela, I'm sure.
yes. And now you have you are more, I don't know, arropado, cuidado, take care of the industry.
Yeah.
Because you can choose. You have professional industry in
You
the
have
United
good
States.
friends.
You have good friends that have good contacts.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
gives you quality.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this age
And security.
and security.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's one of the things that I love the most about the cannabis industry. What I've seen in the States is when you go to a dispensary and all the information is there for you. And if you don't want to read anything, they will come, the bud tenders, and they're
Yeah.
awesome and they take care of you and they explain everything. And you see the old people already going with their, waiting for their medication. And I'm talking 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, and, they're like, no more pills for me, man. I do only cannabis, and it's beautiful to see that, to see people
Yeah.
that they can stop taking so many pills and just have a natural plant that gives them what they need to calm down and live out the rest of their years without,
You have a
suffering
better
that
quality
much.
of life.
Yeah,
you know?
better quality of life.
Now,
Yeah, don't
Go ahead.
don't lose the point of view that the plant is medication.
That's it, man.
That's I think that's the base for everything.
Yeah.
It's medication.
Now I want to. Our second question is, when did you come out of the closet? When was the first time you told someone that? Well, you came out and you were like, yeah, I smoke cannabis.
I don't know. It was very natural because my wife used to smoke a little less than I, and you became to be in a part of with users,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you don't have to say, hey, I'm a weed user. No, everything around you use weed,
But
or
like,
maybe in this ambience.
and what about in the university? Is it like generally everybody or?
No, in the university, I went to a university that has a lot of green woods, and the people go to smoke there. But I don't see identified with that in that
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
And I'm very appreciative of that because maybe I will lose the university easily. But no, my Pacheco formation it's later from
Yeah,
from the radio or from the more creatives that smokes weed and make some notes, and I see them and said, that works. And I don't know, I fell in with very very late, I think.
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
though. I mean, like we were saying before, the more mature you are, the better you're gonna enjoy it and handle it and understand
use it.
and use it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, because I'm actually glad. Like I say again, that you were the first one that says that you had a bad trip, because we've had so many young people here and they go like, "Oh, I started when I was like 14," and you're like, "What?" And then
what
they're
do you
like,
mean 14?
"And I didn't have a bad
I was
trip. Or I
playing
didn't
with my
feel
GI
anything."
Joes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I didn't feel anything the first time." I'm like, "What?" Dude? Like,
Yes.
yeah, but it's good to now see the other side. You were older. You did have a bad trip when you were 25. So yeah, there's everything. It's not just we in this show. We don't just have young kids. We have everything in between.
The mature
Yeah.
cannabis audience.
Yeah. Let's get the cigars, the canagars.
The cannabis. Right on, man.
Yeah, man.
So-
Hey, can you pass me my vape? I was
Oh,
charging
man.
it, and
it ready?
yeah.
When it flashes yellow like that,
It still needs more, but that's fine.
it's enough.
Yeah.
Herbal vaporizer.
Cool. I used to have a PAX.
Oh, no, forget that. Canada.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, man. Flower, I've never smelled anything more delicious coming out of any vaporizer.
That's cool.
Right?
And
That-
and then
this
this is the change for our generation.
I agree.
The ways that you use the cannabis.
Yeah, the ways that you can consume it without hurting your lungs.
Yes, of
You know,
course.
because, and not only that, when you don't carb, you only absorb the cannabinoids. So it's a different high. It
Yes.
feels different. It's nice.
And now you have a chance to choose what you or gummy bears or drops or I don't know. There's a
Yeah,
lot
definitely.
of ways to use the cannabis. So let's use it.
Yeah, definitely.
You have on the internet. So I think everybody have to use it.
You know, like people always ask me, like, "Oh, how come you use this?" You know, and I'm always trying to find like a reason because there's many reasons I use it. But I remember we have another interview somewhere else where they were taking big hits, dude, of like extracts. Dude, they were coughing and coughing and coughing. I was like, dude, I do not miss that, dude. Like, I do
Yeah,
not.
sure.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people that are like, dude, if you don't cough,
You know, hit.
yeah, and it's like, come on, man, that's ridiculous, dude. You know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I really want to quit smoking cigarettes, and I would love to eventually have a joint every once in a while because joints are nice.
Yes.
and it's a different high. But to vape because it's delicious, man, and the taste, it's like, it's so good, dude.
Yeah, sure.
It's so different because, you know, when you carb it, the taste is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's there in the very far back, but when you vape it, it's all the
Cool.
terpenes are just like, it's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's why. Who was asking us? He was like, "Oh, I don't. I'm not really like, you know, I don't know much about. I don't have a lot of experience with like extracts and dabs and things like that." And I was like, "Oh, it's just a flavor, dude. Because
Yeah.
you know, like
Yes.
it's all about the flavor. Because actually, the other day I was thinking how to explain it to someone else, and when you're taking a hit out of dab, that's vaporizing. Because
Yes.
you're
Yeah,
not,
of course.
yeah, you're not. It's the same thing, but it's, you know, with the
You pass
lighter.
for the
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, first you heat up the glass, the special glass that's supposed to take all that heat with the torch. It looks like a junkie, but that's
Yeah.
the way it goes. Also, no, there's like the Puffco, the Peak, and all those that they're electric, and you don't need a
Yes.
torch.
Oh,
they're
and they
awesome,
sell
dude.
now. They sell that thing that you put underneath the
Oh
bowl.
yeah, I
and
saw that.
It's
Dude.
like an
Yeah, you
electric.
just put it here on the bong. Ooh, I should get that for this.
Yeah.
For the giveaway, and we're gonna give this away to someone famous because this is like awesome. But yeah, I've seen those. You just take the bowl. It's like a bowl, no,
Yeah.
for extract,
Yes.
and you put it on your bong. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, so and then it's so hot that when you drop the extract, it just vaporizes, and then
Yeah,
you just
that
take it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a pain. It's expensive. I think it's too expensive. I understand the morbo and all that of, you know, there's diamonds and crumble and this is more potent and this is, you know, I like flour.
But sometimes, in my case, you have to use it because they are silently. I don't know how to say.
Oh, and they don't smell.
They
and,
don't
oh,
smell. I have kids,
definitely.
so
Hey, that I understand. I use my carts whenever I go to the street.
yeah, sure.
And yeah, for smell. But since here, whoever lives with me, if they have a problem with the marijuana smell, then they're out. But yeah, no, I understand. If I had kids,
Yes.
I would probably vape more, and I probably would have stopped smoking cigarettes a long time ago. Why didn't I have kids?
But you have in the theme of kids, you have to make the weed more natural.
Of course.
You have to speak of the weed and the medical weed like nothing.
Of course.
I think they are going to grow up with this. I prefer to be pachecas than to be pedas.
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
To be smoked than to be drunk. So I don't know. Maybe in the future they are not going to be drunk, but they are going to smoke. And for me, it's very good.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
Maybe they don't do either.
Either, yeah.
But yeah, but definitely, I agree, man.
I was gonna say, if you want to see that, then just take a plane to Denver, and there
Yeah.
you can see it. Like people drink, people smoke, and
Yeah,
now
it's
that
beautiful, man.
now that psychedelics are starting to be legalized too, I don't really understand the law in Colorado. I haven't really gotten into it, but I don't think it's like recreational psychedelics. I think it's just for medicinal purposes.
Yeah,
Because a lot
sure.
of people are saying like, "Oh, now it's legal," but I'm like, I think it's just medicine. I don't think it's
That's what
for
I
recreational
understand
use.
too.
Yeah.
Even in Oregon, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it's like you're gonna go to a dispensary
Yeah,
and they're gonna have
mushrooms.
a whole mushroom section.
That'd be cool though. Like imagine like purple mushrooms and like yellow
We got
mushrooms.
purple
Sure.
mushrooms, yellow mushrooms,
Because
golden mushrooms.
If you think
smelly
cannabis, like
mushrooms.
it's really nice. You look at them and it's like different colors and everything. Dude, mushrooms is like another world, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
There's like
sure.
thousands of things. dude.
Leah? What do you want? Is the show over?
We got the mascot.
Are we done? Uh-oh, she wants something. What's up, puppy? What's up, puppy?
Oh, someone wants attention. Hey man, so just tell us a little more about your show and when do you have it? A little more like who the guests are. How do you pick the guests or?
It's every Friday, 2 weeks, and we pick the people who came to the show with more or less that the date. Maybe for the 420 are going to be you and another with users, and maybe in March we have a special for women, and that's the way we choose the interviewers.
Yeah, it's like a theme.
Yeah.
Like you have a theme and then okay,
Yeah.
cool. And how long have you had that program for?
How?
How long have you had the program
Only
for?
6 months. In July, we start in July.
All right.
In the
ours. It's a pandemic show.
pandemic
Yeah.
show.
And you were telling us that you used to do radio shows, used to host. Yeah.
Yeah, so for 10 years more or less, I used to be a radio DJ. So I applied to all the things and the experience in this project. So it's a radio show making with cameras. That's it.
No, that's good. Yeah, it's a good old podcast.
The good old
Yeah.
podcast.
And you guys have also the audio version, like on.
Yes, we have a podcast because I have 4 blogs in every show in YouTube show. So I have I don't know about 10 people in the show one Friday, and I cut it and make it podcast for each one.
Okay.
Nice. And how can they find all of these things? Like, what are your websites? What are your YouTube?
And Peez.live is PEEZ
Mhm.
dot live, and you are going to be in all the things.
But you're also on Instagram, right? So what's your
Yes.
Instagram?
Peezco, PEECCO,
Okay.
like Peace Corporation.
Yeah.
Like Peezco.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and us, you can find us also like in all of those places. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find the audio podcast in everywhere. Google Podcasts. Yeah.
Apple,
Everything.
Amazon.
Yeah, we're
We're
in too many
everywhere,
things.
man.
Yeah, we can't hide anymore.
We're
like,
not too many DJs.
we can't do
we're too
anything.
many podcasts.
We can't do anything illegal now, dude. They'll know where we are.
Uh-oh. We're not doing anything illegal. We're just educating everybody. I'm Marvin Vasman,
And this is our.
my good friend Peez. Thank you so much. See you next time, everybody. The Weedkend Show podcast.